This is Spinal Tap. Written by and starring comedians, it's a parody of bloated, self-important stadium rock bands. The comedic through line seems to be that no one really remembers the band Spinal Tap or recognizes them, so their self-importance is constantly being diminished and ridiculed. But the band doesn't seem to be a loser. They can play. They seem to have a few good gigs. Maybe they stand a chance. We look back in the band's history with these interesting recreations of both the British invasion and the hippie era. And the band likes to indulge in its own lore, like when they explained how a former bandmate died.
And what happened to Stumpy Joe?
Well, it's not a very pleasant story, but he died, he choked on, the official explanation was he choked on vomit.
It was actually someone else's vomit. It was not.
They have their own logic, like building an amp that goes to volume 11, so it's that much louder.
Yeah. The numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the
and then
amps go up to 10.
Exactly. He exploded on stage.
They talk about how unlucky they are with their drummers, who always seem to spontaneously combust. And every big moment has an element of failure built right in. Like when they try to find their way to the stage and get lost in the bowels of the concert hall.
We're in the group. Right, you're in the group that's playing tonight. You go right straight through this door here, down the hall. Yeah. Turn right. Yeah. And then there's a little jog there, about 30 feet. Jog to the left.
We don't have time for that.
Go straight ahead.
We'll trust you.
Go straight ahead.
Yeah.
Turn right the next two corners. And the first door you sign, authorized personnel only. Yeah. Open that door. That's the stage.
You think so?
You authorize. You're musicians, aren't you?
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
No, this way. This way. Straight
Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Here we go. Hello, Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland.
Then once on stage, their mammoth tribute to Stonehenge is stymied by the fact that the props builder made it a bit small, and the whole show is decimated by carefree dwarfs in silly costumes. Most significantly, they mock Led Zeppelin. Here, the bass player plays a double-neck bass, and the guitar player performs his solo with not a violin bow, but with the whole violin. There's tension too, when the girlfriend of one of the guys gets pushy and starts making decisions for the band. This leads to a big fight, but in the end, the boys reconcile because they just love making music and being rock stars. The movie ends on a note of triumph. Well, except for the drummer, of course. The gigantic metal band Metallica hit an impasse after almost 20 years of success when guitarist James Hetfield fell apart. It was so bad their management forced them to hire a relationship expert. To make their new album, they hire producer Bob Rock, who also plays bass on the album. And of course, because they're also ridiculous, the guitar player Kirk Hammett plays with an electric toothbrush. Drummer Lars Ulrich has an impressive art collection, and the movie deals with the process of him deciding to sell it off. He also has a young son who is no Jason Bonham, and a father who looks like a cast member of Lord of the Rings. Disagreements over the music are inevitable, but why are musicians so infuriatingly inarticulate? It makes them sound stupid. Thank God their job is to make music, not to explain things to other people.
It's a little stock, so I started trying to introduce some kind of edge to it from the drums.
Those things we throw out to each other are complete bullshit. You know, it sounds too stock. It sounds too normal to me. You know what I mean? You're saying this shit so you can get your point across about doing a drum beat. I mean, you know, it doesn't hold any water.
To you.
It doesn't.
I think it's fucking stock. Which part of that is unclear to you? I think it sounds stock to my ears. I mean, you want me to write it down?
The movie is a stunning portrait of how big an asshole guitarist and vocalist James Hetfield seems to be, a profoundly disagreeable person. When he enters rehab, one of the conditions is that he gets to stop rehearsing at 4 p.m., which is chaos for the rest of the band. How can they even stand each other?
No, but the second time you felt really comfortable with it.
Right.
Oh, by the way, it's 3:45. I gotta get rolling, guys. Sorry.
If we all know, and we all do know, that 4 o'clock is kind of the stop time, and I don't know, then I won't feel like the heel here saying, I gotta go eat dinner with my kids, you know? Because I have a feeling, you know, I'm gonna walk out of here and you guys are gonna go in there and listen to this stuff, and it's like, that's not right.
That's not. I mean, if I want to listen to it, I will go in and listen to it.
But we should at
So we
least
should
listen to it.
Stop early.
Right, but I know you'll sit there and start talking with Bob. Maybe Bob doesn't want to sit in there, and when I'm gone, things get talked about, and then decisions are made, and I feel I walk into something that's already kind of decided, and it's a total uphill battle for me a lot of times. I don't like that feeling.
Oh, that's like just like the last 15 years.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, let's talk about this tomorrow then. All right. Or do you want to take time out?
No, I don't have time right now.
Okay.
It's just past 4.
How about if we just save up the tension?
How do they not
Seriously,
murder
okay.
this asshole
Tension
who
produces
loves slamming doors on the way out?
And all these rules and all this shit, man. This is a fucking rock and roll band. I don't want fucking rules. I understand that you need to leave at 4. I respect it. But don't tell me I can't sit and listen to something with Bob at 4:15 if I want to. The fuck is that? Fuck! Fuck!
Not even Metallica is above the humiliation. Here, they are forced to record idiotic radio promos, which they ridicule, and for a moment, their mutual hatred bonds them again.
Hey, it's Lars from Metallica here. I'm about to stick 50 grand up your ass.
$1 at a time.
The Napster controversy did not play out in their favor. Fans hated the fact that they brought a lawsuit against the file-sharing app, and their endless greed is parodied in this mean-spirited cartoon.
Who do you think you are? I mean, just, because you, made us rich, you think you can get free stuff? Songs that we spent upwards of, 24 to 48 hours writing and recording? Our team of lawyers and researchers have your names, and you Napster users will see you in jail getting gang raped.
Then they need to dump the therapist, who's getting a little too accustomed to the fat paycheck and the fun of hanging out with a rock group.
$40,000 a month. Full-on thing.
I'm afraid he's under the impression that he's, in the band,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the bass player is intact. I want to be sure that the tour is on, and I also, as I said, have performance coach visions for each of you and for the band. And to me, the work isn't over.
They make one really smart move when they decide to shoot a rock video at a state prison in front of prisoners. It works great. And finally, Hetfield gets a chance to exonerate himself. His statement to the prisoners is poignant, and thank God, because no one needs redemption more than he.
I'm here to talk a little bit about what this song means to us. Anger's an emotion that I've struggled with for pretty much all my life. It's a lot of misspent anger that has come out sideways for a lot of people, including yourselves. And if I hadn't had music in my life, it's quite possible I could be in here or not even in here, be dead. Everyone is born good. Everyone's got the same size soul, and we're here to connect with that. So we're very proud to be in your house and play some music for you. Thanks.
Finally, Ulrich puts his finger on the process.
We've proven that you can make aggressive music without negative energy.
The movie ends with a really big show, revealing a new bass player and the band in top form. The happy ending helps take away the sting. Now we can like them again. Rock of Ages was a Broadway musical made up of songs that were hits in the 80s and the early 90s. The story concerns a girl, fresh off the bus, played by Juliana Hough, and a boy, hardworking and energetic, played by Diego Boneta. They both have huge ambitions to be rock stars, and they both work at a big club called The Bourbon on Sunset Strip. The Bourbon is managed by business partners Alec Baldwin and Russell Brand, and an icky intimacy keeps creeping into their storyline. Meanwhile, a mayoral candidate, played by Bryan Cranston, and his wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, are out to clean up the Sunset Strip, and their main target is the Bourbon. Catherine's barely suppressed animal desire for rock stars will ultimately leave her vulnerable. Alec's only hope is to lure the super famous but terribly unreliable Stacey Jacks to perform at his club. Stacey, played by Tom Cruise, is more complex than one would think. The only time the movie ever comes alive is when Cruise, in a career-best performance, appears on screen. His quietness and disinterest, not to mention that bizarre monkey friend of his, make him compelling indeed.
It's great to see your face out again. Now let's burn this place to the ground. Yes, right on, brother. Rock and roll. No. When we're not done, we literally need to burn this place to the ground. Otherwise, the Fire Phoenix gets trapped.
Cruise on stage is more than credible. If I didn't know who he was, I'd think he must be some big rock star I just never heard of. His character is saddled with a tedious storyline. He's being interviewed by a prissy young female reporter who isn't afraid to speak truth to rock power.
You know, some people have said that you've become quite difficult to work with, that you're constantly late, you're reclusive, sometimes even nonsensical.
Well, I ask you this. Have these people even met themselves?
Well, I'm talking about your band.
As the movie continues, we see that Stacey's manager is a cheating shyster who steals the box office take and leaves Alec and Russell high and dry. Thank God they get to sing their way through the problem. They confess their hidden love desire for each other and twirl into a big kiss. Then, when Stacey finds out about his manager's scam, he torments him by making the monkey throw shit at him. In the final moments, Stacey confronts his nemesis and makes her swoon, and his parting line to her makes up for much of the dross that came before it.
Patty. Your tits have held up well.
Rock of Ages is an awful movie, full of awful ideas. If you don't like the songs, there isn't much else. Except for Tom Cruise. He really does his best. Dig is the story of two bands, the Dandy Warhols from Portland, Oregon, and the Brian Jonestown Massacre from San Francisco. Other than using famous names as branding, the only thing the two bands seem to have in common is mutual admiration. The film is narrated by the Dandy Warhols' lead singer, Courtney Taylor Taylor, but the film is mostly about the eccentric behavior of the Massacre's founder, Anton Newcomb. Newcomb, a prodigy, never met a musical instrument he couldn't play, but he was a troubled lad and a monster of a band leader. Performances often dissolved into chaos and screaming, if not actual fights. It's all just another form of entertainment. Then one day, the Warhols release a single that is meant as a direct jibe against Anton's addictions, and he does not take it well. Anton retaliates with his own song, jabbing at Courtney Taylor.
Dad, they're jeopardizing the Dandy's career.
Eventually, the Warhols go corporate and make a foolish rock video. Anton, meanwhile, melts down at home.
Go to sleep. It's too
We're
good
done it before we
Fuck
came here.
this. Leave.
I wasn't gonna do dog every day.
There's also more fights on stage. How can any band sustain itself with this much madness? There's the inevitable run-in with the cops, and it does not go well. Then Anton starts showing up at Warhol gigs, causing a stink outside the venue by selling copies of his Attack single. The Warhols start to get a bit worried. Is Anton a serious threat? Well, yes, but probably more to his own band, who keep quitting during shows. Then suddenly, a television commercial uses the Warhols song Bohemian Like You, and they suddenly break through. But with the Massacre, it's business as usual. No one gets more in his own way than Anton Newcombe. When one night he kicks an audience member, he is arrested and eventually denied the right to see his own child. And yet, he just keeps going. Dig is a rare, great movie about rock and roll, about two very different rock and roll experiences.
And they'll be remembered forever. You know, their records will become collector's items and who knows, we might just be forgotten.
It's a cautionary documentary, but I don't think a better movie about the pop music business has ever existed.